guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Here on my channel, I do planner and planner related videos with the occasional new release video of items that I've listed to my Etsy shops. And if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you hit that little notification bell, you will always be notified when I do load a new video. And if you could also comment, like, and share this video, that would be amazing. So it's a bit of a mishmash of what's on my desk here, but I did want to show you some different sizes, because this is actually going to tie into the topic today of the different Hobonichi sizes, because there actually is more than one Hobonichi. But in the Happy Planner line, what they have is the Big Happy Planner, which I believe is 8.5 by 11. And then this is the classic size. Now, as I've mentioned before, I can't get the Happy Notes here in Hawaii locally. So I made this, and I believe this is 7 by 9.25. So this is the classic sized Happy Notes. This is the half sheet Happy Notes size, and these pages are 4 1/8 by 9.25. So 4.125 by 9.25. 9.25, yeah. So that's the size of these sheets. There are Happy Mini Notes. Again, can't get them, so I made this one. And the size of this is 7 by 4.5. And then there's the Micro Notes, which is 3.5 by 4 1/8. Now I did make this, so it might just be a strict 4 by 3.5, but again, I can't get the micro notes here, so I'm not sure. So this is just based on my measurements. But I did make, and what I'm calling this is a HappyNichi Midi, M-I-D-I, because it's on a 5-ring system, and the measurements for this is 5 by 4 1/4. And the reason I chose that, I'll talk about in a little while. So these are the different sizes of at least my Happy Planner lineup. I do prefer the disc bound system. As I did with my budget planner, I actually took Erin Condren pages, and you can see that here. Out of a Erin Condren coiled bound, it was a academic planner, I think, but I don't like the coil, so I took that apart, I added some elements, and so whenever possible, I'm going to put things on a disc because I think it's super functional, plus I can take things in and out as I want to. Now the reason that I mention that is because this is my half sheet HappyNichi, and I'm going to beat a dead horse about this, but I've had to make this by myself because I can't get to the classic, the micro, the mini, or the half sheet Happy Notes here in Hawaii. Now I did look on Amazon, and that gray floral cover, and I believe the striped cover, they were currently selling the half sheet Happy Notes for about $25. Yeah, I'm not going to pay that, and I've already mentioned in other videos the deal about shipping. So I've made this, and this is my version of the Hobonichi weeks. Now there are 3 different Hobonichi week sizes. I kind of knew that, but I didn't really care because I was more interested in the HappyNichi, and this is the actual size of a HappyNichi, and this is 3.75 by 7.4, and then the thickness is 0.04. And so in comparison, it is quite a bit smaller than a half sheet Happy Notes, but I'm actually happy with this size right here. But there are actually two other Hobonichi styles. So this is the weekly style that we've covered in this one, but they also have two different daily styles. Now again, I don't have any of these, but there is a woman here on YouTube, and I wrote it down, and she is Talks from the Heart, and I'll link her channel and that particular video below, where she actually has all three sizes and does a really good walkthrough of the differences of the three plus what she plans to do with them. So there is the Hobonichi Cousins size, which is this right here, and this is 5 by 8 by 8.3. Now again, as I mentioned when I did the comparison of sizes the last time, and I'll link that video below, when you're measuring to try to make something like this, it's actually easier to do with millimeters, because that's, for me at least, in my measuring skills, it's difficult to do inches when it's not a full or half inch. So this is the size of the Hobonichi Teisho Cousin book, and then this is the size of the Hobonichi Planner A6 English version, which is the exact same as the Hobonichi Teisho Original, which is the Japanese version, and that is 5 by 8 by 4.1, and then the thickness is 0.06, and the millimeters is 105 by 148. So if you look at these three sizes, they are significantly different. So do that like that. Now, these two in the Hobonichi Planner and the Hobonichi Cousin, are done on a daily. So just like the Hobonichi, it starts out, and again, I'll link the video below where I had the Walmart version of it, where it starts out with your year at a glance pages, where you can do like a tracker style system, and then you've got your monthly calendars, and then for the weeks it goes into your weekly calendars. Same for these, it starts out with the year at a glance trackers, where you have like the 4 months on the 2 pages, and you can track every day of the month however you want to, birthdays, drinking, whatever. And then it goes into the monthly overviews, and then it goes into the daily, and every page is a daily. So there's 2 pages per spread. And so these are the daily ones. I like my HappyNichi version. Again, 1, it's bigger. 2, it's not on the book-bound system, and it's a lot cheaper. So I believe the Hobonichis can run anywhere between $25 to $35, $40 plus shipping, because these are Japanese products. And so even if you're getting them from Etsy or Amazon, you will pay additional in shipping. Now, Anika from Anika's Creative Plan, I believe that's the name of her channel, and I'll link it below. She made a cousin's version out of her, I want to say it was her wrong. I'm not sure. I can't get that here, so I don't know. But she made the cousin's version, the bigger of the Hobonichi, by way of her classic. So she didn't cut anything down, and she's going to make this into the version of this. Now that for me is a little bit too much for a daily spread. So I thought, okay, well, I'll use my mini, but this seems like a little bit too much for a daily spread, and this seemed like it was too small for a daily spread to try to mirror either this one or this one. I'm sorry, I have to keep putting things behind me because I have no space. So the reason why I came up with this, my HappyNichi Midi, is because of a variety of reasons. So let me put this to the side. So these sheets, and let me get a blank one, this measures 4.25 by 5 inches. And if you have the big Happy Planner paper, then you can get 4 of these from one sheet of paper, so it's very economical. But this is also 8.5 by 11, so if you can't get the Happy Planner paper, and I love dot grid paper, so I will hoard this stuff like you will not believe. You can just cut down copy paper, or I think even folder paper, and then you would just need to punch the side. So the way that I've set this up is, and this is actually, let me show you what I did. Now I make these traveler's notebook style covers, and I put them in my Etsy shop, and this is for a traveler's notebook that I plan to do. It's in my to-do list. But I had several of these in there, and this is one that I had that actually was a mistake, because to make traveler's notebook style covers currently for the mini sized Happy Notes or Happy Planner, and this one is what I had done. I had made a cover like this for the mini, and let me see if I can find one. So here's one. And the reason why I had made a mistake, or the reason why I didn't put this in my shop, is because when I make these, I put the pocket on the back so that you can slide in your Happy Planner or your Happy Notes, whatever you're using this as a cover for. But for the one here, I actually put the pocket on the front. Now, it may not make a difference to you, but it made a difference to me, so I never listed it. So I just had this in my stash, and I was just planning to use it sometime in life, because I don't mind it for me. I just didn't want it for my customers. So last night, I actually just cut this down to fit my little HappyNichi Midi book. And again, I like the name of it because it's not a micro, it's not a mini, it's a midi. It's sort of midpoint between those two because it is on 5 discs. Don't want to lose this. And so, like I said, you can cut this exactly down the middle, which is 4.25, and then you cut it at 5, and it actually will be the first 5 there, and then the next 5 there, and the only wastage is about 1 inch at the bottom, and I think that's totally acceptable. And again, if you are using copy paper, then it can be even cheaper, because, you know, I think a sheet of 40 or 60 of these, for me at least, runs between $6 and $8, because this is something I actually can get locally, just the paper in a craft shop nearby. But I also think when they have it on stock, Amazon sells it between $6 and $8, because actually that's where I got this. And it's got a pocket for me in the front here, which is already proven useful. And because I did cut it down, I actually just used some clear tape and taped this close, because if you can see, there is, and I don't know if you can see because it's clear, there is a little border of the laminate there, but on the bottom here, there is none, because that's where I cut it off. And it's actually okay if you're only doing 1 sheet of paper to cut right up to the line, but eventually it will pull apart. So this is not going to last forever, but I did want to put a cover on here. I did make a cover page here. And then this is going to be in the Hobonichi Cousins Planner style, where I did my monthly overview, and I'm going to do it sort of a hybrid between the Happy Planner style, where every month is lumped together, and the Hobonichi Cousins style, where it's going to be a daily planner. And if you are interested in this, it is 3 boxes across by 4 boxes up. And then I did make all of these flowers here. And then I've already set up some of the daily pages where you've got the days of the week at the top. I put, this is the moon phase, because that's what it has on the planner, and I even believe on the cousins. And at the bottom, there's usually either a quote or some educational fact. So I've just put some quotes that I found online. Here I am going to be doing some time tracking of various things and notes in this column here of what these things are comprised of, and then some journaling here. And I plan on keeping this on my desk. This won't be in my purse, so that I can use this as at the end of the day sort of closure of my day. And I'm hoping this will help me just close out some of my thoughts, because I've really been in a mood lately. So I'm hoping this will help me focus on the why, or just getting out of my head. And so I do have several days set up here for my HappyNichi Midi. And then in the back, I do have a tip in, and this I think is something from the bullet journal world, because this is something that I used to do in my bullet journal, where I wanted to keep a color code of what my time tracker meant, but I didn't want to have to keep writing it. So if I put it in the back here, and I just used washi to tape this piece of paper in here, then while I'm working on my MIDI, I can actually look at what the different color codes are to correspond to this right here, but also what the pen was, because I've got a variety of different pens, and this will just help me figure out what it is so that I can be consistent. And then when I don't need this, then I can put this, fold it back, and then I've just got this little spread right here. Now, if you're interested on how I made this, although like I said, it's pretty simple. It's 4 1/4 by 5, and then, I mean, the cover you can make from anything. I already had this, so I just made it out of a laminated cover that I had, but you could make this out of a file folder. You could make this out of a heavy cardstock scrapbook paper that you have. If you had some old mini Happy Planner covers, you could cut them down. Again, whatever it is that you have, because this should be affordable. But if you want to, if you are interested in how I did this and just doing a tutorial, let me know in the bottom. But when I do these, I'm assuming that you're like me and you can't find the things locally where you are. And I know that people from Guam, American Samoa, Puerto Rico, because people have commented that they can't get these things either. And then for international people who are enamored of the Happy Planner, for you, it's also difficult. Plus, shipping is always going to be a beast for you unless you have a store or someplace that's authorized to sell the items that you can get it for a little bit cheaper than if you purchase it from the States. And I do need to let you know there are some companies, I want to say Hobby Lobby is one, Michael's might be the other, where they won't send international, but they won't even send to like Puerto Rico or Guam or American Samoa. So it's only really the 50 states. So it can make it difficult to get these items. But when I make these things, I'm assuming that you have access to the discs, because you can get a single hole punch pretty much in any stationery store, drugstore, because our local Longs and CVS, I can get them, Walmart, Target, you can get a hole punch. So even if you can't get the Happy Planner punch, you're good. Even if you don't have a laminator, you can make this out of a file folder and contact paper, clear packing tape, just clear regular tape, just to make it a little bit secure. But you may not be able to get the discs. And I actually ordered a bunch of these from Etsy, so I do have a stash of discs in my supplies. But if you can't get this and you are interested in doing one of these daily ones, then what you may want to look into, and that's why I have this stuff here, is some of these little composition notebooks. So these two here I purchased from Walmart, because if I'm not buying it from Amazon, I'm buying it from Walmart. And this is a junior composition notebook. This is 5 by 7. And I have a bunch of these because this is also 5 by 7 that I get in a local craft store. here. Now this is 76 cents. This is $1.50. But when I'm making my traveler's notebooks, I prefer to give 3 of these, even though my cost is more, because I just think these look prettier. But there are times that I can't source these, that they run out, and so I'll use this and I will take it apart and I can create 2 of these sized notebooks to include in my traveler's notebooks. But this would work just as well in this kind of style where you're doing a daily, although the size would be okay if you also wanted to do the weekly or the dashboard or the horizontal, and this might be more readily accessible to you, this size right here. If you wanted something small, you can do these little mini composition notebooks. Now in my Walmart, I can get 3 of these for $1. These I picked up from Amazon, and if I can find it, I'll link it below. And I think the cost per unit of this for me came out to like 50 cents. So again, more expensive than this, but it's super cute. So I was okay with that. But again, if you wanted to do some sort of daily journal, this would be a great little size. This would be a great little size. Now it's not on the discs, but if you can't get the discs, then this might be a good option for you. This might be a good option for you. If you are a teacher, this might be something that when all of the school supplies go on sale, you can get as a project for your kids to do a daily journal. If you are a Bible school teacher, you could do the same. If you're homeschool, you could do the same. If you've got kids and you want them to be able to play in a planner like yours, but for budgetary concerns or because of access, you can't get them, then you can always work out of one of these. And if all you can get is the regular size composition notebooks, then use that. The Happy Planner system is amazing because it is so functional, it is so customizable, and they have all of the pretty stickers. But all of my spreads on the guts of it will not have stickers. I'm going to write and I'm going to use a pen, and I can show you how I did that real quick. So I use my mild liners just because they're my favorites, but you could use any pen. Just test it first so that it doesn't smudge or soak through. I made a circle, wasn't even particularly careful about it. Did some little green things, again, not particularly careful about it. Used my high-tech C in 0.3 and just did an outline. And then I did a little circle in the middle and then just some little half moon shapes. Again, not very particular about it. And there you go. There's my little rose at the corner of my sheet. Now I think that looks super cute. It's very affordable. This isn't about decorating. This is just about getting things out of my head and down into paper and tracking my day. So again, if you are looking for something very easy on your budget, you could certainly make this, and hopefully you have components. But if you can't, you could do that in something that I'm hoping that you have easy access to by way of little notebooks like this. I'm hoping this made sense. I mean, I really wanted to show you the different sizes of the Happy Planners. I wanted to show you the different sizes of the Hobonichi. I wanted to show you why I made this HappyNichi Midi, HappyNichi Midi, and then some options to just the Happy Planner itself, just because, you know, I'm fortunate that I do have a lot of supplies. So even though I whine a lot about not being able to get all of the pretty things, I'm sure my budget is happy that I can't get all the things because I can make most things. But, you know, depending on where you are, you may not have extra discs that you can use to make a lot of different things. You may not have the Happy Planner paper. You may not have the punch. But hopefully you can get these little notebooks here, and this is the B6 size, but I believe there's like A5 sizes, A6. I mean, really, whatever kind of notebook you can get, you can turn it into a bullet journal. You can turn it into a Hobonichi. You can turn it into a planner that fits your needs and hopefully either your access availability or your budget. Yeah, I'm hoping this is useful to someone, but I really wanted to show this because I'm really enamored of this right here. Although, just as a final point, you will want to use a very fine tip pen because there's not a lot of room. And I can write small, I can write big, it just depends on the pen. So this will work perfectly for me. All right, guys, again, let me know if you want to see a tutorial on how I made this. And as always, aloha.